Thanks so much for joining us today. This podcast specifically dives into a little bit more raw and a little bit more unfiltered version of what it's like to live in Central Washington. And how we're going to do that is through conversation with people that live here and people that mean a lot to me, and I think they're going to mean a lot to you by the time we're done having awesome conversations. So we're starting this first podcast, the first podcast of hopefully a long series with one of my best friends, Cody Axton. So
I'm here.
He's here. He made it. It's late.
Straight from the kennel.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to share in a different way. Like you've already been doing a lot of media and just actually you walk around town and you ask like, hey, do you know Joe Doan? Like a lot of people are like, say yes. So as far as like networking, I think that's one of your strengths, but this is gonna like add to just the way that you're broadcasting everything that you're doing. And it's kind of collecting everything you're doing into one thing, right?
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's really encouraging.
Yeah.
to hear. I'm really excited for it too, because I think that for me, I think we all binge YouTube a little bit, but for me, I sit and I feel like by the time I'm done watching some of these long form that have become, they're just really interesting because you start to get to know the people as opposed to you're just watching something that's more scripted, like my 6, 7, 8 minute videos. There's a lot more like just, it's kind of, there's an agenda. There's a little bit more of an agenda behind what I'm telling people or encouraging people about. And so I'm really excited about this platform. It's like it's a totally different new thing for me. And you've done a podcast before, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. We'll see how it goes. I'm really, I'm kind of going with it. So.
Yeah. So you want me to be real and honest and authentic and just be me, right?
100%.
Yeah. And so any future people that might come on your show, like if they're listening to this, like that's the intent is just to have a conversation and talk about life and business.
Yep.
What else is like kind of your picture of this podcast?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's always good to ask.
What's it called?
Why are you doing? This is called Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe.
Yeah, Cup of Joe. So that's.
Should we take a drink?
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah, Cup of Joe.
What kind of coffee are you drinking, Cody?
Mint coffee.
Mint coffee.
Mint tea. Definitely a tea guy, but every once in a while, not very often, I'll have some coffee. But
I feel like
you drink enough coffee for the both of us.
That's true.
So
I do. I'm addicted, actually. Well, because addiction actually has withdrawal symptoms, and we've tested that. So,
okay.
Yeah, I only get slight headaches.
Yeah, so it's called Cup of Joe?
Tremors. Yeah. The podcast is called Cup of Joe. It's coffee with friends. And the idea behind it is, so obviously it's hosted on a real estate channel. It's brought to you by BigDogRealty.com. That's our business, and that's how we help people buy and sell. But for me, my passion with real estate it's a lot deeper than just helping people buy and sell homes. And I think the most important part of real estate is the people. If there was no people, there would be no real estate.
Yeah,
and that's
I agree with that. Yeah.
And so there's no better way, in my opinion, to get to know people than have a long, open dialogue conversation.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, we're just going to say different things we think, and these are some good tips for buying or selling real estate, or here's a beautiful video. It's like, hey, let's actually get to know people and figure out who lives in Central Washington. Why would I want to live in Central Washington? So that's a little bit like the base of it, but I'm really excited for where it's going to go because we're going to be able to explore so many cool things and talk about real life instead of kind of more scripted, fake, not fake, but a little bit more premeditated topics.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. The relationship aspect, I think, is not just related to real estate. Like if you look at a lot of different industries, like if you could, at least my perspective is like, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be in relation somehow to other people, and the way I'm going about my work is going to impact another person's life. And And so do I care more about like the work that I'm doing and like the quality of the product, or do I care more about like how that's going to influence somebody's life?
Yeah.
And I think that we should think about it more. Like, does this business like actually improve people's life? Because there are a lot of businesses out there that are not improving people's lives, and
not really.
like it's kind of frustrating. Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made with things that don't, you know, improve people's lives, or they kind of you know, tailor to weaknesses.
Yep.
And yeah, it's unfortunate. So I like that you're thinking that way, of like it's more about the people, because you could go about real estate in a way that is shady, is all about trying to just get the best deal for
Very
you.
Very transactional as opposed to relational.
But seeing the way that you and your team, like, and you know, Heidi and how you guys work, like, is really it's obvious that you care a lot about the outcome of the person at the end of the day.
Yeah, and oftentimes, you know, it's not always about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. And how do people feel about it? What's that? There's an age-old line that's like, people don't really care what you say, they just care about how you made them feel. Like at the end of the day, you'll just, that's all you really remember. And then that's all we really have once we die. Like, how did that person make me feel, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot to that. And so my passion's a lot deeper than just helping people buy and sell or invest or strategic things like that. But all right, a little bit, let's kind of, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
I want people to get to know you. They're not going to be able to obviously get to know you as well as I have the pleasure of being close with you. But let's talk a little bit.
How long have we known each other? 6 years?
7 years. 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah,
like weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hanging out weekly.
Almost every week for like 7 years.
Yeah, you really get to know someone. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So you were raised here in Ellensburg, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised. Tell me a little bit about that.
I like to say born and raised, but technically I was born in the hospital in Yakima.
Okay. So you're just raised here.
That's me being completely honest with you.
He's really from Yakima.
Right. If I could have chosen, I would have been born in Ellensburg, just based off the fact that like I grew up here.
Yeah.
But at the time, like the hospital set up and my parents were living in Yakima.
Oh,
and
really?
so when I was born, that's when they moved to Ellensburg.
Okay.
So my sister, 3 years older than me, so she had those first 3 years of her life in Yakima.
I didn't know that.
So yeah. My dad was a paramedic, firefighter paramedic, and so he started there and then moved to Ellensburg, and his whole career was in Ellensburg. So that was my upbringing, being here in the community. And then through the fire station, there's a lot of connections there that our family had.
Yeah, within the community.
Yeah, so the fire, that was the fire station. Like, there's a lot of connections there. We went to church every week, and so there's a lot of like community connections there. There was a few other things throughout the community that we were connected, but growing up at the school, right, that connects you to a lot of different families.
Right.
And then working in Ellensburg, there were some farms that I worked on, and different jobs that I had. I had a lawn mowing business for a little bit, and so those connected me to different people. So it's like over all the years, there's a lot of people who know my name, and then when you start a business in that location, like there's a big impact.
Right.
Like,
can really take off.
Yeah, or it could fail really quickly.
Yeah. Word of mouth. Yeah.
How did you live your life up until that point?
Yeah.
So doing business in a small town, I really have enjoyed it. So yes, born and raised in Ellensburg.
Yeah. The phrase still means the same.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Ellensburg? Because a lot of people haven't had the privilege of that.
Yeah. There's a lot like to do for the like creative mind because there's not a lot here, right?
Yeah.
It's rural and there's ranches and farms, and we have like a desert this way and then evergreen forest this way. And so there's a lot that you have access to. And so I've been exposed to just a lot of different things. And so it's a big question of like, what was it like? I loved it. Like, it was great. There's a reason we're here now. There's a reason we're raising our kids here. You know, there's kind of like something that stood out to me was like in high school, like at a basketball game, if an opponent like fell down on the floor, like an Ellensburg kid was right there, like helping him up. And you didn't always see that from other places. Some places you did, but like that was something that it was just something that people would say like that's part of the culture. Is like we're with each other, and like we have a really strong community, and that's been literally the best.
Ranching, farming community, very agricultural driven.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hard work to do here. There's and that like builds character in people. I'm really thankful that I grew up in a place where I could be out in the country, and I was exposed to agriculture and farming, like agriculture and like raising livestock. And I didn't personally, like my family didn't do that personally, but I had good friends that did that. And just, I mean, you went out our back door, and then there was our backyard, and then there was just a huge farm field. And so it was like right there. It's like, and then as you're driving into town, there's farm fields on the right and the left, and you know, you get stuck behind a tractor, and it's like, you know,
someone's riding a horse downtown.
Yeah.
I think there was one stoplight in Ellensburg, like back when
you were growing up,
when I was born.
Okay.
So it's developed a lot since then.
You know, it's interesting because I was looking at an old statistic of population. It's totally developed. I totally agree with you. And we'll see what the census comes back here soon, because there's been a lot of recent development. But the population, you know, 30, 40 years ago was very similar to what it is today. It's you know, it's only like 5,000 different or whatnot, which I found shocking because it looks like so much is happening.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of infrastructure coming in. But I just found that interesting because I know what you've told me that before, that when you were born there was one stop light and now there's what, 15, 20? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, but as far as infrastructure and everything, it's it's developed quite a bit. And I left for 10 years. So after college, I went to Central, and then after that, I was gone for 10 years.
And Central's in Ellensburg. So you graduated high school and you stayed here for college.
Yep.
And then you left.
Yeah. It was an easy, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do.
As most college students.
Yeah.
Even when they graduate.
And so I went to college because that's kind of the thing. Looking back,
I know I wouldn't have either.
It's like, as an entrepreneur now, I'm just like, man, I could have been doing a lot of other stuff.
Put way more.
But I'm still thankful for like the education, because I did learn a lot.
What did you study?
So I finished like my first year of college in high school.
Running start, or
it wasn't running start, but it was like through AP classes, and I was getting college credit for that.
Yeah.
Actually, not my first year, so it was like I had maybe a quarter or a couple quarters done, so I was a little bit ahead. So I ended up graduating in like 3 3/4 or something like that, a little bit early.
Nice.
I double majored. I got a major in recreation and tourism management.
Parks and Rec.
So kind of what was behind that was I had a lot of experience at youth camps before that, and so that was one of my like one of my goals, or one of the things I wanted to do with my life, is to like work at a youth
Kids,
camp.
yeah, youth camp.
And so I did that, and I focused on like camp management. And kind of actually one of my goals was like be a camp manager someday. So
That kind of are with kids.
yeah.
Every day's camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I think I've changed my goals with that.
So
But I did end up working on staff at several different camps. The other degree that I got was philosophy and religious studies. And my faith was very like fundamental in my upbringing. Not like pushed on by my parents, but it was just something intrinsic inside of me. It was just like I felt called, and like I knew I was here for a reason. I knew that something created me, right? And at 4 years old, that really started to develop. Like, and my mom even told me like there was a shift in my behavior. Like at 4 years old, like I told her that I wanted a relationship with God, and my sister was an influence on my life too when I was that young. I don't remember a ton from, but I've been told stories, and I do remember significant moments. But basically, like started my faith journey at 4 years old, and so that developed, and then in high school, I kind of came to a place where I was like, hey, I want to make this like my own. Like it's not just something that
your parents are going to church and you're just hanging out with them. It's
because we were very consistent at, like going to church, and then it got to a point where it's like I need to make a decision for me. And so that happened, and then as I got into college, I still had a lot of questions, and started even like kind of challenging. It was like, whoa, like why do I believe this, or why, I look at maybe another faith, and it's like someone's so passionate about that,
right?
Would go to certain lengths that are just like unthinkable because of what they believe in. And so I was like, I want to answer those questions that I have. So the philosophy and religious studies was kind of behind that, and I really focused on the religious aspect of it. Studied all world religions from a secular perspective, and
that kind of creates a well-rounded base of just awareness, if anything.
It's helped me relate a lot to people, like at being able to understand more of where people are coming from. And then I ended up getting a minor. Like it turned out that I had like all these classes, and I just had like one more class, and I could get a minor in family studies.
Oh, nice.
And it was like 1 or 2 classes or something like that. So I was like,
easy,
do that.
I mean, you were already graduating early, so you might as well fill your time with something.
So double major, minor, graduated early. Is like I was just
you're killing it. At this point,
doing.
What happened? No, I'm kidding.
I did school well. Like I wasn't a person that really studied. I just paid attention in class.
Nice. Can you imagine?
I did the homework, but I didn't have to sit there and like repeat stuff. And then I'd show up, do well on the test, and so it came a little bit easier to me.
That's great.
What I'm not good at is like the speaking aspect of like regurgitating all the data.
You're doing great right now.
It's like being on a podcast. There's a little bit of like nervousness to it of like, am I gonna say the right thing, or and so I've just kind of let that go. I like the format of this too, is just like relaxed.
We're breaking it in. It's like a new glove for baseball. It's a reference you won't understand, but when you get a new glove.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, it's like super stiff. And
I'm not that naive.
Well, I don't know. Baseball couldn't have been your thing.
Well,
but
my wife is a softball player.
That's true.
You want me to keep going?
Keep going. Yeah,
keep going.
I'm actually. You got me.
Okay.
Keep going.
So then I graduate.
Yeah.
And
with 2 majors and a minor. And how old are you?
When I graduated, 20
Something around.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I moved away from Ellensburg, and I moved to Colorado. And I worked at a camp that was actually like, there's these two camps. One was like a family camp, and one was a camp for high school kids.
Yeah.
And then there was another camp that had a bunch of horses. And they supplied horses to both of these other camps, and then they also did their own. Well, they did like trail rides and taught Western horsemanship and stuff like that. And so I was a horse wrangler at the ranch, and did that for 5 or 6 months, and love working with animals. I've always enjoyed working with animals.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to the dog stuff.
Right. That's how we met.
But yeah, that is how we met.
Preview. Yeah.
Yeah, horses, they're just amazing creatures.
Incredible.
Growing up in Ellensburg, there's definitely a lot of horses in this valley.
Totally.
So,
Horse rodeo town.
you get exposed to that. Was on a horse at a very young age, and there are plenty of guys out there with a lot more experience than me.
Yeah.
But as I go
But that's still part of your journey.
Yeah, as I go travel the world and stuff, it's like I realize there's a lot of people who have never been on a horse. Like,
I think most people haven't been on horses, I would say.
And in Ellensburg, it's not uncommon to like have ridden a horse.
Right.
So doing that as a job and like being able to teach other people the little things that I knew was really eye-opening. And then I went from there and I worked for a guy that trained polo horses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Have I told you that?
No, that's very specialized.
Yeah. So he took retired thoroughbred race horses and then turned them to
That's a good
play
retirement.
polo.
Yeah.
And really fascinating guy. His name was Clyde.
And this is all in Colorado still.
Yeah, this is in Niwot, Colorado. So I was in Buena Vista, and then I was in Niwot, and so I was just kind of his ranch hand, helping with hay and moving horses around and stuff. And he had like some other properties, and I'd kind of do property management stuff. But then I was there watching him, work with the horses, and it was fascinating. So I didn't know, but like race horses, and I know now, but like at the time, like you pull on the reins and then they run faster. And normally, like you get on a quarter horse or a ranch horse, like you pull on the reins and they're supposed to stop, and you keep pulling, and then they back up. Yeah. So he had to change that in the horse's mind.
That's a tough thing to train, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you do that? And so there's a bunch of farm fields, and he just goes out in the farm field, and he pulls on the reins, and the horse takes off.
And he has to calm it down, or
he doesn't let off on the reins until the horse stops running. Oh. And so the horse
that is so sketchy. Yeah.
And he was this little dude, and
almost makes it better.
Yeah. And he was older, so there was a few times where he got hurt, and and he ended up passing away shortly, like a number, maybe 5 years after I stopped working for him. But he just taught me a lot about like character, about working for someone, about taking gifts, and like how do you receive a gift, and then how do you also like give a gift back. Right. Because I was young, and I was, and he was paying me well, but at the same time, he was like teaching me like doesn't all just come for free. Right. Like you got to work for it.
Man, that's something our generation could use.
Yeah. and generations below us. But I learned a lot from him, because he owned a bunch of Italian restaurants before that, but his passion was horses. Cool. And so he had all these restaurants, and then he retired and sold them, and then he did
you know, his passion in like training horses. And when I talked to him, he's like, I wish I would have done this sooner in life. Like I wanted to, but like I was scared to make the jump. And I waited until I had all this security.
Yeah.
And then now I'm old
Past that point.
and I'm training the horses, and he made a name for himself training, but it didn't last very long because he was towards the end of his life. And so I think that went into my subconscious.
Did that stick with you from that point of like?
It wasn't like a aha moment, but
Sure.
I think talking about it now and like thinking about it, it definitely played a role. And like, I don't want to just get a job somewhere. Like I want to do something that I feel passionate
That you're
about.
driven about
Yeah.
and everything. It's encouraging for me to hear right now.
Yeah. And then from there, I went to grad school, and I know it's all like kind of random, but I got my master's in clinical mental health counseling. And that was so fascinating to me. It was way more exciting to be in grad school than undergrad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
100 times. Like it was just like I was studying something that I was just really intrigued in, and I felt like I had some gifting in, and it just like it was changing me more, so like my character and who I've become today than my undergrad career did, or my undergrad.
Was it take till we're 25 for our brains to develop anyway? And so then that's when you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand learning, you know, a little more.
Yeah, and my dad paid for my undergrad, and I paid for grad school
Okay.
out of my pocket. So there's a difference there too. Like I'm super thankful for my dad and the way that he was able to like bless me with not being in debt. And but there was a difference of like I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, and I got all these different majors, and I definitely have used all that knowledge.
Yeah.
But then grad school is like, hey, this is something that I want to do. And I actually went and I like talked to him about it. It was like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to do grad school. And he was like, if you do it, like you're paying for it.
It's on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he said that, because like I had to make that decision to invest
Yep.
and put, you know, my money towards something that I wanted to grow in. And that's a big thing that I learned too, that's tied into business, is like there's a sense of worth that comes from like actually putting your money into something.
Right.
So if we give things away for free, they're valued at a lower level. And if I'm giving away something that is requiring your like cooperation and your service to come alongside it in order for it to be successful, then I don't want to give it to you for free. Like
Right.
I'm going to charge you so that you're more
It's a
invested.
disservice. Yeah.
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 So that was another thing I learned from grad school, is just like I took that education like very, very seriously.
Yeah.
I learned a ton. And it was mostly, I think, for myself. I ended up doing like a year of counseling out of college and was a counselor. It was a very like clinical setting, and I'm doing all the notes and diagnosis stuff, and I just realized that's not what I'm.
That wasn't
supposed to
really
be
your
doing.
calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
But the interest was there.
I did learn there was a lot of people that go through that education and then they end up using it in other ways.
In another field.
And that's
yeah.
what I've been doing. It's like I've been using
No
it
question.
in a lot of other ways.
You counsel dogs every day.
So
Yeah.
and the dog, the psychology
Yeah, the psychology of it, I'm sure that's
is
applied.
there, definitely in the training, but the owners, it's like the way that I interact with the owners
Yeah.
and help them engage with their dog.
Yep.
Like I'm using that education all the time.
Right.
And then in ministry settings, you know, and mentoring like other guys that I've mentored, and in like our small group and men's group and things like that. And then even with just like being a parent and raising kids, and
You're like seeing all the things you learned be applied in real life.
Yeah.
now. Yep.
so I do think it's a bummer, you know, when someone goes to school and they pay a bunch of money and then they end up doing something totally different. However, in my case, like I definitely have seen that it was all very purposeful.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well, there's a plan.
and all of those decisions I didn't just make on my own. Like I was very much in prayer and seeking guidance, and now I'm like seeing a bigger picture, and our lives are like just kind of puzzle pieces. As you know, if you're someone that's like seeking after you know, our Father and like living for Him, He's going to give you stuff that doesn't make sense.
Right.
And you just be obedient, and then later on it's like, oh, that fits here.
That's exactly
like
how
that.
it goes.
That makes sense. So, yeah. So grad school ended, and then I went and worked at another camp, and that's where I met my wife. And then from there, that started the journey of like where I'm at now with my business and like
modern era,
the origin of that. So and I can definitely go into that, but
yeah, no, that
curious what your thoughts are so far.
Really appreciate you sharing that. I learned a lot right there. That is really encouraging to just think about all those little pieces, and sometimes even just verbalizing it ourselves. I know sometimes when I tell a little bit of my story, I'm like, oh yeah, that is a good lesson to think about. You know, like the guy that you were talking about, like he had so much success and then he waited to do his actual passion or his calling. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, let's get on it. Let's do it. Let's do what we've been called to do.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of encouragement that I got from that, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you meet your wife. Obviously, you don't meet her when you're married. So you guys met at that camp.
Yep.
And then
I went there for a summer while I was in grad school. Okay. That's when I met her.
Yeah.
And then we started dating, and then we got engaged, and then I graduated, and then we moved back to the same camp that we met at.
Right.
And then we worked there for 3.5 years or 4 years.
I didn't realize it was that long. I thought it was like a year for some reason.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like 4 years.
So you guys are working at the camp together, newly married.
Yeah, not making any money.
No money.
So
no money.
How do you tell your in-laws, like, hey, I'm about to marry your daughter, and then I'm gonna move somewhere. I'm leaving actually a good job because I was a property manager for this nonprofit in Denver.
Yep.
And great community, like great setup.
Yeah.
And they would easily just like provided like housing for us, and but yeah, we felt called to go do this.
Yep.
And so we left that to go do a job that, and she had a job too, doing sign language at a public school. And so she had a great job. And so we left all of that to go serve at this camp for no money. And
lodging.
We got lodging, but we had to pay for everything else.
Yeah.
So we actually fundraised a little bit. We had some people that supported us, and we kind of just told them what we were doing, and they were like, yeah, we can help. And our plan was to do that for a year.
Okay.
And then go do whatever was next.
But 1 year turned to 3 years.
Yeah. So after 6 months, then I got hired on at the camp.
Gotcha.
So the first 6 months, I was just being a cowboy, just helping move the cows around.
Think of all the things you've learned along this whole way. Ellensburg boy, and then you travel, and then you go work with the guy that's training race horses to be polo horses, and the property management aspect. It's just like
it's all
come together. And then obviously we'll get into what you're doing today, but that's cool.
Yeah. My brother was down there, and he's still there managing the cattle.
He's the true cowboy.
Yeah, he is legit. I mean, you should have him on here because he's got a lot of stories.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot there too, just like ranching wise. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about cattle specifically. It was really eye-opening and fun to do. But then this job came up that was still at the camp, but it was actually for like several of their camps in the Northwest. It was doing accounting work and doing bookkeeping.
Nice.
But I never studied accounting.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
why I changed majors, because of accounting.
Yeah, really?
I did. That's a true story.
Because I finished all my math in high school.
Yeah. They don't teach you that
But they don't teach accounting.
I wish they did. I feel like it's so practical.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely use it every day now. But again, like puzzle pieces are getting put together. Like I needed to know accounting for running a future business.
Right.
But I didn't know it. I felt like I was supposed to apply for the job. Actually, at the beginning I didn't, but another person came to me. I was like, hey, I feel like you're supposed to apply for this job. And I was like, it's accounting. Like I don't know anything about it, like never done it. There's no way they would hire me.
You.
And he's like, I just want you to pray about it. And so I did, and then I felt this like nudging in my spirit, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna apply and see what happens. On paper, it's like they should not have hired me. Even in the interview, they told me, like, we have several other people with years of experience, and on paper, we should not hire you. Okay. Like, that's what they said to me.
Okay.
But then
they finished the interview.
And then they go, well, maybe this was like, I did the interview, then they brought me back in.
Okay.
And then, so they're like, on paper, we should not hire you. However, we feel like the Holy Spirit's telling us, like, to hire you. And we want to know if you do this, like, are you going to put your all into it? Because we're taking a risk.
Yep.
And I was like, yes, like, I'll do it. I'll commit to 3 years, and I will learn accounting.
That's where the 3 years came in. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for sure, I was there for 3 years, and I think it was 6 months before that. So
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, then I just like started drinking from a fire hose.
I bet.
It was a lot.
Yeah, multiple camps, you said? In the whole region?
Yeah, and like, you know, multiple $1 million budgets and numbers I hadn't seen before, and I'm just like,
the true management of the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And eyes were just wide open. But within a year, I had it pretty good.
Okay.
So it took me about a year to like get to where I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then from there, year 2 was just great, doing the job. And then year 3, it was like really boring because I was getting my work done super quick. And then I was just kind of sitting around because I was part of the administration staff. So if the phone rang and it didn't get picked up by the front desk, then I would be one of the people that would pick it up. So I had to be in the office full time just in case the phone rang and someone else didn't pick it up. And that was like really frustrating to me.
Yeah. You felt like you were wasting your time?
And I started to get like depressed. Like I was just like, man, like am
I just wasting my time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of losing my passion for it. And I really realized in that season that I'm very driven by like projects. I'm not driven by like punching the time clock. Like, and like also doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like I'm not
That's
built.
not you?
I'm not built for that. Like I can do it for a while, but
me either.
Then I'm like, I need something that changes. And and so after the 3 years, I let him know, like, hey, I'm going to move on. And from there, we didn't necessarily know what we were going to do, but we had gotten a dog while we were at the ranch. So if I go back to like when I'm 8 years old, I'm going to start to tie in the dogs to all this.
Yeah.
So we got a big dog right here on the table.
Because we're big dog people.
BigDogRealty.com.
That's right.
So I got a dog when I was 8 years old. My mom had been breeding Labradors since before I was born. So
in Yakima, apparently.
Yeah. I got to ask her about that when she like officially started. But it was like pretty much my whole life.
Labs.
We had dogs. Yeah, labs.
And so I was around dogs all the time. That doesn't mean that I know how to train them.
Right.
But I love dogs.
You know how to play with them.
Yeah. And so I got this dog Midnight when I was 8 years old, and he like was my best friend as a kid. And so from 8 to like when I was in college, he was there with me through a lot of life. And there was a time where I was like riding my bike, and I was going by the neighbor's house, and their dog came out and like bit my pant leg. It was like pulling me off of my bike. Wow. Out of nowhere, Midnight just comes flying and just like pummels that dog. And it just like, yeah, I was like, man, this dog like was watching me. He was like way back at the porch, and like he saw it happen and came running. Wow. That being said, Midnight was not a well-trained dog. Like, he would get into fights. He would jump on people. He wouldn't come when you called him. We never put a leash on him.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And so we didn't take him anywhere.
Right, he's just a home dog.
We did take him somewhere once, and he jumped out of the back of the truck, and he like broke his leg. And so like
not doing that again.
Yeah, he ended up just like staying at home. He never got to explore the world, but he was my dog. Like, there for me emotionally. He loved me. I went through, my parents got divorced, and that was one of the hardest things in my life that I've ever gone through. And Midnight was a constant through that. I went through a relationship breakup. He was a constant. I broke my back snowboarding and had to like lay on the hardwood floor on my back with my feet up on the couch for a couple months, just like sleeping at night. And like, he was there for me. And it was around that time that he passed away.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
And when he passed away, I was kind of reflecting on his life, and I was like, man, I feel kind of guilty. Like, I didn't do much for him, but he did a lot for me. And he was there for me, and he just like, if you have a dog, and if you're a dog person, like, you know this, like, dogs just love unconditionally. And you know, you could scold a dog, and then they turn around and then they love you. And I just like was like, man, if I get another dog someday, like, I'm gonna do it totally different. I'm gonna learn to train the dog well, and I'm gonna give it as much freedom as I can.
Yeah. I mean, you were 8 years old, so it's tough to have that foresight.
But when I was in college, you know,
when he passed,
when he passed, so I definitely had a lot of time that I could have worked with him. And so then, fast forward to living at the ranch and at this camp, I get Chief, who my mom calls and is like, hey, we have one puppy left. He's like the great-great-grandson of Midnight, and we might not have another from Midnight's line. Do you want him? And we had just got married. It was like 2 months into being married. And we just looked at each other and we're like, yep, we'll take him.
Totally.
So we drove back up here to Ellensburg, got Chief. And then day one, I just started working with him. Not working him hard, but like learning.
You will be not crazy.
I read a lot of books and a lot of like trial and error with him. I wanted him to be a hunting dog, and I ended up training him to shed hunt. So sheds are deer and elk antlers that fall off every year, and you can go find them, and then there's value to them. People use them for furniture and stuff. And so we did a lot of shed hunting and taught him to handle, so I could send him on a blind retrieve, and up to like 100 yards, maybe like 200 yards. Like, the farther you go, it starts to deteriorate.
Yeah, for sure.
But where we lived, it was like very open country, so we would just be glassing with binoculars, and we'd see a shed, and then I'd send Chief, and then he'd run straight on the line that I gave him. Then I would whistle and stop him if he started to get off track. He'd turn around and look at me, and I'd either send him one way or another. And then he'd go and find the shed, and then he'd bring it back to me.
That's
And
one way to hunt.
Yeah, and that was like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so amazing. Like to do this
what
with
a
a dog.
difference, yeah.
Like I did not want to go shed hunting without him. Then we trained him to bird hunt. And again, like I was like, there's no way I'd go bird hunting without a dog. Like it's just so much fun to see the dog work and to see him come alive. And it's like they have this genetic makeup.
Yeah, it's what they're bred for.
Yeah. And you have a lab, right? And well, we have sisters.
We have sisters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, so train Chief like super well for hunting, train him for obedience. You know, I could tell him to load up and be, you know, several hundred yards from the truck, and he'd go all the way back and jump in the truck and
so cool.
wait for me. He would get a soda out of the fridge, or
it's a good trick.
Different stuff like that, and I just learned through a lot of trial and error. And the more that I worked with him, the better I got. And people just started asking, like, "Hey, could you help me with my dog? You know, how'd you get Chief to do that? Can I buy Chief from you?"
Right.
And I'm like,
no. Yeah.
that's
my
not
dog.
happen.
Yeah.
And that went on for a couple years. So while I was still doing the accounting job, I actually trained a couple dogs for some other people.
That's when you started dabbling.
Yeah. And then we left that job, and we left the camp, and my wife and I and Chief, we lived out of our truck for a full year, and we drove around the whole United States. So Chief's been to almost every state in the country.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and that was like my dream.
That was like, yeah, because that's what you said to yourself, right? When you were reflecting on Midnight's life is...
I'm going to train him well. I'm going to give him as much adventure as I can.
Yeah.
And so Chief got to go to like huge football games and like in all sorts of different restaurants and different stores, and to see people and tons of different animals and kids and, you know, and all these different places. And it was all like off leash. He was just obedient.
Yep. Discipline equals freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obedience equals freedom. Yeah. Is what we say at Gung Ho Dog.
Yeah.
So the more obedient the dog is, the more freedom we can give him, because now we trust you. But oftentimes we give freedom, and then there's lack of obedience, and now we're frustrated. And so what we have to do is then pull the freedom back.
Yes.
Get obedience, and then give the freedom back to the dog. And now there's a working relationship.
Right.
And on our trip, as we were traveling, we saw friends and family, and we would just help however we could. I was working for the same organization remotely, and still doing some accounting work. And then eventually...
That's the dream, you know, to travel and just with your wife and your dog.
It was great. Living out of the truck...
not so great. Better on paper.
Yeah, wouldn't do that forever. We had a rooftop tent on the top of our Tacoma, and then the back.
And you had a YouTube channel, right? You were posting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was really the start of my entrepreneur journey.
I gotta make money.
I gotta do something where...
creative, different.
Yeah, something creative. Because the accounting was very like one side of my brain.
Right.
And then there was this creative side of me. Like I've always been into like dancing and painting and doing these different things that are really artistic, photography. And I was just like grinding numbers every day. And this other side of my brain was like starving.
Yeah. You kind of had like almost atrophy. Or probably, you just felt like you were shrinking, and you're like, I need to have a creative outlet.
Yeah. And so doing YouTube was like really helpful. I did a video every day for a year while we were traveling.
That is wild.
So I learned how to like use the camera, learned how to edit, and just like publish video after video.
Yeah.
I would say the quality was like lower.
But producing every day,
there's
that's
a lot
super
of quantity.
Impressive.
So my eyes got really dry from late night editing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how quick did you get down to the editing?
I could edit in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
A full video, and it was like maybe a 10 to 15-minute video.
Yep. More like a recap vlog.
It was a vlog.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I learned a lot. Like, that's not evergreen content. So like, nobody's going and searching my vlogs. You know,
They can now. We'll put a link in the description. Yeah. If you want to watch
I would
Cody's
rather
vlogs.
you go to my evergreen content that I'm producing now.
That's right.
Of like how to train a dog.
Yep.
Because like evergreen is something where someone will search it for a long time.
Yep.
And YouTube's one of the largest search engines like online. And so if I create something like, I did create some videos with Chief, and I noticed that those were getting searched and looked for over and over again, where if I did a vlog of like, you know, we're going to,
You get like
so-and-so
one hit
town.
because there's no interest in it outside of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I started doing like videos with products and stuff, and then getting some affiliate like commission for that. And so I started to get some passive income from the YouTube channel and ad revenue.
Yep.
And so that was like really exciting for me, but it wasn't enough to like sustain us. And so I knew I needed to do something different. I knew I needed to pivot in some way.
Yeah.
And we went and I visited a dog trainer while we were on that trip, and it was on the East Coast, and he had been doing it for 30 plus years and had all these titles and stuff, and he just kind of told me about like what's it like, you know, to be a trainer. And he watched me with Chief, and basically told me like, you could do this, like if you wanted to be a dog trainer, like you could do this. And that was where the light bulb
Super encouraging at that moment. You're like, I think I can do this.
Yeah. So that's when I started searching like domains and stuff, and it was while I was there I picked Gung Ho Dog Training.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was gonna get some form of like gun dog training because I thought I was just gonna do like hunting. But I'm glad that I didn't, because I've been able to do a lot of different types of training since then. And Gung Ho, like we think of it as like excited, enthusiastic, and the original definition means working together in harmony.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it came from a factory where it was like co-workers, and it was like
Gung-ho, they're
a
working
saying.
together.
Like, you know, they'd be walking around, they'd say Gung Ho, like it's like, let's be united as one, like let's work together harmoniously, and like let's do the job well.
That's a great name.
Yeah. And so I was like, wow, that really fits what I want between the dog and the human.
Yep.
And then our definition, like the American definition of Gung Ho, is what I want to see in the dog. Like I
Right.
want to see the dog living into its potential.
Yep.
I want to see the dog alive and excited to do life, and to like, if it's a hunting dog, like have it go hunting, you know, like,
Right.
and don't just like coop this dog
If it's a
up.
cattle dog, have it work with cattle, you know?
Yeah, if it's a Malinois, let it bite somebody. Like, you know, don't just put it in an apartment and take it for a walk around the block. Like that dog needs to go and bite something. So it's like, you think about the dog that you get and then let it live into its potential as well.
Yeah.
So on our trip, that was also the point where we were like, I think we're done like
Traveling.
living out of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still want to travel, but like,
Right. On this journey, you're saying,
Yeah.
on this journey that you had been going on. Yeah.
so we're on the East Coast, and it was like almost Christmas. And
So, yeah.
we had Thanksgiving on the East Coast, and then we're like, let's go back to Ellensburg.
Yep.
And we got there by Christmas. I think it was like 10 days, or
That sounds right.
like we just drove straight. Like we stopped and saw a few different people,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was like real quick. There was a lot of other YouTubers we met on our
interesting.
trip. We collaborated.
What years was,
This
what year was the
2018
Okay.
was the year that we traveled. That was the year that I bought the domain, and so it's been about almost 7 years
of the business.
Yeah, when like the business started and it was at least developing in my brain.
Yeah. You own the domain. I think you're running it. Yeah.
So we come back to Ellensburg, and then I found we moved in with my mom, and because neither of us had jobs at that point.
Right.
And then I went and got a job working for another trainer, and then he also had another like head trainer working for him. So I got to learn from a couple more trainers.
Yeah.
And then my mom's dog had a litter of puppies. And I just asked all the buyers, would you be interested in me training your puppy for you?
Right.
And 4 of them threw me a bone and said yes. And that was the start of Gung Ho Dog Training.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some of those videos with those puppies.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
4 just
4 at a
super,
time? How was
super
that?
cute. Yeah, to potty train and crate train 4 puppies at one time.
Yeah.
Like, say goodbye to your sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's what I did. And I filmed it, and I created a potty training like course from it that I give away for free now. And it really like has helped so many people and their dogs, and you know,
So it was worth it.
yeah, and it's also worked for dogs that are older. Like if you rescue a dog that's like
Struggling
3,
with that.
4 years old and it's having potty training issues, you just follow the system.
Yep.
And then it works.
We'll have that in the description for sure. A link to that.
Yeah. Yeah, would love if anybody's got a puppy or, you know, yeah, I'd love to give them access to it because it definitely helps just having a system to follow. So I knew from beginning too of the business, I wanted to have like digital assets of it and courses for people to do. And now we have a community, and so that's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
But I needed also to find a place for my wife and I to live, and
Not at your mom's house.
yeah. And so we did some creative financing, and we bought a property. So that was my first real estate deal.
Yep.
So we do have that in common. Like
That's right.
We, both are passionate about real estate.
Real estate and dogs. I mean, we could do a lot of episodes.
Yeah. So bought that property through seller financing, and we wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. So like I went to the bank and they're like, sorry, like you don't qualify for it. You've lost money.
Yeah.
In the last
Why
year.
would we
Like,
give you
why
a
would we give you
loan?
money?
Yeah. Every entrepreneur knows how they feel. Yeah.
And so, I had to do something creative.
Yep.
And that's part of being an entrepreneur too, is like when someone says no, like it doesn't mean that's a dead end. It means that's an obstacle.
Yeah, that direction.
So like get over the obstacle.
That's right.
And like figure it out. So we figured out a way, and there was a lot of people. I mean, this journey of mine is like, there's been so many people that have helped me. Like, so I can't like take the credit, and like all the glory does go to God.
Yeah.
Like he's been behind this whole thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of my day, it's like, I'm pointing you, I'm pointing anybody I talk to, like to him.
That's right.
Because like he gets the credit. Like I'm here because of him, and my life is for him.
Yep.
And so as I go on this journey, I'm continually just saying like, hey, my hands are open.
Yeah.
Like, do you still want me doing this thing? What do you want? You want me to change paths? Like, my life is yours.
That's another thing you and I have highly in common.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been able to really connect over just our faith and our dedication to the Lord, and how just like serious that is. Like,
it's what your life is anchored on for me, and so like everything else stems from that. I mean, that's obviously in Scripture. It's like He's the bedrock of everything else, and so then like the driving force, and then it really helps me as I go off the rails on my entrepreneurial journeys. But that's really all that matters, is that baseline, walking with Him, trusting Him. And like you said, I've had so many times where I've looked back and I'm like, oh, I understand this plan a little more. Hindsight's 20/20 for sure in those situations. And that has encouraged me, like my biggest takeaway, potentially right now at this moment, is there's nothing really more important than trusting the Lord in every aspect and being rested in it. And that's the provision. The provision isn't like, oh, I need to go make X amount of dollars. Yes, that's encouraging to help our families, but the provision comes from our peace in the Lord that comes from relying on him and trusting. Because like the faith aspect is like trust is our side of faith, is being able to trust the Lord. And so I would say that you and I definitely have that in common, and there's a lot of similarities where our paths have obviously intertwined, especially in the past 6 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we would be fools to say that our wives have not had a huge influence on our success.
Yep.
Right? So like Taylor and Emma, like they have put up with us.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they've done so much to like help us along our journey that it's like,
yeah, well, we're just crazy without that. Like in a way, like it could be taken that way. And I think having a wife that is equally yoked with you, and not just in faith, but being equally yoked in mission and mindset of like what that life's going to look like. Like I'm going to live under a bridge with you for a 30-year goal.
yeah.
You know, like that's, you and I have that in common, and obviously that's one of the reasons that we're super close, but like our wives being so faithful to us. And I think that it is encouraging too, because we get to see that and we're like, that's the Lord loving us through our wives. That's him being faithful through them. You know, and it's just another facet to me where I'm like, man, his faithfulness is just so good. Like,
Yeah.
to have that. And my heart goes out to anyone that is, you know, doesn't get to experience that.
Well, I think
Yeah.
people are called to different paths, right? And if you're called to be married, like it's what a blessing.
Yep.
Like that's been what I've been called to, and like I can speak to my
Right.
journey, right? So if we look at moving from Colorado, Taylor, she married me, and then we went and volunteered, like no income, right? So she came with me.
Yep.
And then we left there, and we lived out of a truck for a year, right? She came with me. And then we're like living back with my mom, right? She's right there with me. And then we buy this house, and I'm like, I don't know if this dog training thing is gonna work.
Yep.
Like I have no idea. And she's like, I'll go get a job, and that'll help pay our bills while you figure this out. But our goal was for her to not have to work.
Not to work, yeah.
Yeah. And so she got a job at the hospital, and that didn't take long for me to replace her income. And so she ended up working there for a bit. But then once she got pregnant, then she came home, and she's been home since, but she has her own business now too. So but I just gotta, give a huge shout out to my wife. Like she's been everything on this journey, and she's been with me through the thick and the thin, and
Solid rock.
yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad your marriage has done so well and grown and just becoming more beautiful every day.
Yeah, we're
That's
at
awesome.
11 years now of marriage.
That's
and,
awesome.
It feels like it's like just gaining momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would that brings me to a quick question.
Yeah.
With the perspective of everything you've told me now, of what you've gone through, your marriage, meeting Taylor, everything, what would you give advice to Cody 15 years ago? Right? So that's right when you're going to Colorado?
Yeah. So
okay.
I graduated from
from college 15 years ago.
Yeah. So like this would be just, what would you tell yourself with everything, the hindsight that you have now?
Man, there's a lot of things I would do different, if I'm being honest. Like, I think there's a lot of, some people will say like, hey, I don't have any regrets.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's a little bit of a cop-out. I think everyone's got something.
Like, I think that I could have done better, like in a lot of ways. Like with the knowledge that I have now, like I could have been a better person. You know, like I could have treated people better. I could have gone after people that were hurting more, to like help them. Career-wise, well, if I had all the knowledge now, like I wouldn't necessarily go do all those things again because I'd have all that knowledge. But it sure would be interesting to go through the same thing, knowing what's going to happen. But if I was just talking to myself, like
a word of encouragement.
Yeah, I would just say like, stay close to our Father. Like that is literally the most important thing in your life, because everything outside that changes with your proximity and your posture towards your relationship with the Creator.
Yep.
And like the closer that I am to Yahweh, the more I'm in tune with like who I am. And I see like my true identity through the reflection in His eyes. And if I'm like way back here, like I can't see that reflection.
Right.
Like I got to get real close to your eyes to like see a reflection in them. And so I need to draw close, and I need to be intentional about my relationship with Him above everything else. And I think I knew part of that at that time in my life, but that's what I would probably reiterate and drill in and say, stay consistent. Because that's the hardest part, I think. It's like you can have seasons and the journey is long, right? Yep. We're running a long race. And there's going to be some miles where like you trip and fall and you want to slow down and walk. And
right.
And then there's others that are downhill and it seems like smooth sailing. But the consistency of the intimacy with our Father, I think, is probably the main thing. Is like, if I could only say one thing, like, that's definitely what it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, getting back a little bit on your story. So you've started this business by purchasing this piece of real estate.
Yeah. Well, I started the business by training these puppies. Right.
And you're like, I need somewhere to train, and I can't live at Mom's house.
That's the cheapest training that I've ever done. I mean, I've done some free training since then, but yeah, as far as like what I've charged, like that is the cheapest training. But it opened my eyes, because what I got paid in a month to train those 4 puppies was similar to like a month when I started the accounting job. So I had some hope of like, I think I can make this work.
Yeah.
But there's this big variable of like, that was like a litter of puppies from my mom. Like,
yeah, how are people going to find out about me? What am I going to do? What are systems? Like, I need to make it.
We looked for a long time for a property, because I wanted to make sure that it was going to fit like the dog training business.
Right.
So I wanted there to be a pond. And I wanted there to be some sort of outbuilding that I could have as a kennel. And we put an offer in on probably 3 or 4 different houses, and we looked for, I think it was 6 months. And we looked at a lot of houses, and our real estate agent was amazing. Like, she had so much patience for us. And I mean, you know what it's like to help buyers. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. It's harder when you look at like 25 homes and then they're like, we're not going to buy anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we stayed in it.
Good.
We found a lot of houses that could have worked. I even found a house that had a dog kennel.
Oh, really?
And we put in an offer, and then we didn't get it. And every time I drive by that house, I'm like,
Could have been.
There it is.
Could have been.
But we ended up being where we're supposed to be. This house came on the market. Within a few hours, we went to go see it. We put in an offer. Like while we were standing there, we like put in an offer, and then we got it. And the people who were selling it, they were like, what we told ourselves was we will just sell it to whoever makes the first offer. And so the quickness is what got us that property. I actually had a client last month, and they wanted to buy the property.
Really?
But it went so fast that
they didn't get the opportunity.
And I was like, wow. So, and that was what was happening with these other properties too. Is it was just
that was a wild time. That's what 2019, 2020, right?
Yeah.
Like so
properties were going fast.
Crazy.
They're not going fast right now.
Nope. They're going normal.
Yeah. You would know better than me. And I'm not currently looking for anything to buy at the moment.
Yeah.
But we just bought one with you
this summer.
And that was this summer, and that was like a smooth process. Like you guys were amazing. You helped us negotiate. It was an off-market deal.
Yep.
So that was my first like off-market deal, which was really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done a creative finance. I've done a conventional, and then we did an off-market.
You got this whole portfolio of transactions already.
Yeah, it's been really cool, and I've enjoyed the real estate.
It's fun.
The real estate journey.
Yeah.
And so that's my wife's business at this point. Is we have some short-term rentals,
right?
And she manages that, and she's gifted with hospitality, and so she loves it, and she's doing a really good job at it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool that you both get to have entrepreneurial outlets, and you're both able to provide as a team together now.
Yeah, I think she saw, that we could do this.
Yep.
It's like we can start our own business, and so
first one's the hardest.
Yeah,
kinda.
Well,
I think it takes like 6 or 7 businesses to like, oh, okay, I think this one might.
For like the YouTube thing, like, I consider that like a fail, and I think like, and a fail to me is like growth, right, and it's propelling you forward. So I've had 10 times the amount of fails as I've had wins,
and that's
it's not more, but that's normal.
Everybody. That's a good thing. That's just totally part of the process.
Yeah. Something that
you don't know too when you start.
I enjoy the challenge though. Like, and there's days where I want to give up. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
there are days where I'm just like, man,
it's hard.
Yeah. I almost shut down the dog business after, I think it was year 2. It was right at the beginning of COVID stuff. I was just like burnt out.
It was exhausting.
I worked for 2 years, 7 days a week, no days off. I had dogs
every day, all day. Let them out.
Yeah.
Feed them. Clean up dog poop.
8, 9, 10 at night. I'm sitting there letting dogs go to the bathroom.
Airing them out. Being like, I should be home with my wife.
For 2 years.
Well, you were home. But
luckily I lived on the property. But man, that burnt me. Like it was hard. And so.
But you did create quite the brand in that grind season.
Yeah. I definitely built a foundation and a good reputation, and the ball was definitely rolling at that point. So we started the business. The dogs were in the living room.
Yep.
And then they would be on the porch if the weather was nice. If it was too hot or too cold. We had like 9 dogs in our living room. Yeah. Hair everywhere. Try sleeping at night, like. And my wife's like, we can't do this forever. Like,
we need a kennel built.
And so we built the kennel.
Yep.
Just an old horse, shade, lean-to shed, and turned that into like a finished concrete floor, fully insulated, windows and doors.
Yep.
Kennel, and we've been using that for however many years now.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good system. You got a great setup.
Yeah. Thinking about the real estate stuff. So, you know, you want to think about your long-term value of a property.
Yep.
And the properties we were looking at, the one that had a dog kennel on it, it stunk. Like it was
Not a great property, or like smelled?
like it smelled bad.
Oh, okay.
It smelled bad in the kennel and in the house.
Gotcha.
And that
from the kennel, you think?
Yeah, from the dog stuff. And so I was like, that just stuck with me. I was like, if I'm buying a property and I
smells.
have a dog kennel, like how do I prepare it for maybe someday I sell it? And I don't want that to lower the value.
Yep.
And so I built out the whole kennel, the airing yards, everything is set up for horses. All the gates are big. The kennel itself is a tack room, but it's also a wood shop. I got electrical outlets all around that are, you know, high enough, they're out of the way of the dogs and stuff. But like it's set up to be a multi-purpose
building,
like shop.
Yep. With a nice drain in it all. Yep.
Yeah, it's got the drain in the middle. Like I could have built the indoor-outdoor. But a couple things with that would have lowered the value. And also that requires less like of my attention with the dogs, right?
Yep.
Because I could leave for half the day and like they have food and water.
They're able to go
to the
in and
bathroom.
out, yeah.
But I didn't want that. I wanted to put the responsibility on me of like, I'm going to keep dogs in crates.
Yep.
I'm going to, like, it's good for them to be crate trained. They're not going to be with me forever. So it's good for them to have that time. And then I need to let them out like at a minimum of every 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we have like a regimen of like every 3 hours the dogs go out. And in between that time they're getting trained, you know, and they're doing other stuff too. So, but sometimes like I need to go run
It's dog
to
boot
town
camp
or
over
whatever.
there.
So yeah, we're not that hard on them, like you know, but it's not quite boot camp, but it's intensive learning, I would say.
Yeah. For a dog that is not crate trained, it would probably be a shock to the system.
Yeah.
And then they become like, oh, this is great. This is what I was designed for. They're cave animals. And
we have programs too for certain dogs. Like we work with a lot of rescues, and some dogs like can't, like it's too much. Like they have a lot of anxiety going on, and they would self-harm like if put in a crate. And so there's some dogs.
Yeah, it's case by case how you handle, how you train.
So we have like come and go programs where the dogs just come for a bit and they go, or I like go to people and work with them, and because there's location specific things that people want, but mostly the dogs are coming to the kennel. They're staying for either a day or several days at a time, and then they're getting trained and then training the owners.
Yeah, that was okay. You're touching on something, because I remember us talking about how you're like, oh man, it's great training these dogs and they have all this success, and then they go home. You're like, I really gotta be working with some of these owners to encourage them to follow through.
Yeah,
because you can train these dogs perfectly, but a little bit of not following through can basically you feel like you lose a little bit of the progress or something like that. And is that a little bit of the inspiration of where you created this course that you have? And because you want to, like me, you care more about the people in the business and the dogs than just like going ones and zeros. They're not numbers in your system. You care about them actually going home, living a satisfied life, being able to travel the world like Chief did. You know, like that's what you want for these people. And just training the dogs is almost like half of the recipe a little bit. And now it seems like you've created a little bit more of a holistic training ability for both the owners and the pets, which a lot of people don't think of. They think, oh, go give my dog to, the dog whisperer, come back perfect. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's
what I thought it'd be. Yeah. And that's what I did too. It was like traditional board and train is like you drop your dog off, for different lengths of time, but like,
and it is effective. Yeah, it's definitely
for
effective.
Sure. Like we did it, and it just wasn't. I wanted to do better.
Right.
There's.
That's what I love about you, Cody. You always want to do better, That's what.
Yeah, it's like, let's do the best
let's
possible.
do better.
Like if there's a better way, then like I'm open to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like same with just like philosophy of dog training. It's like if there's a better way that is effective and gets us to our goal, like there's a lot of variables we have to play with, but like I'm open to trying that. And so I've kind of been a collective of like, I learn from a lot of different trainers and I listen to, there's like 3 main camps in dog training as far as philosophy goes. And I listen to all of them. And then I take it in and then I work with dogs. And then I'm like, okay, based on my experience, like this has been effective in this scenario. And that's a tool that I put in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I got thousands of tools.
That's right.
So when dogs come, it's not just like a cookie cutter program. It's like very much customized to the dog. And you know, there's a quote that says, train the dog in front of you. And it's about like, just like, this dog is unique. And to focus on the dog at hand. But I would also say like, train the team in front of you. It's like, I want to train the dog and I want to train the handler.
Right.
That's the team. If I just train the dog, then the dog's great. But the human is the other huge variable. So I tell people, like, I can't guarantee anything from your dog's behavior. Like, I can't guarantee that your dog's going to behave in a certain way because you are a variable that I can't control.
I'm probably the hardest variable. Yeah.
And so I tell them, like, this is my guarantee. If you're committed and you're doing the work that I ask you to do and you're following through, then I will keep working with you until you're happy. And then they're like, that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. And some people, like, they take longer than others. Right. And then some of them are shorter. And some owners, like, to be frank, like, they don't care like they should, you know, or they give up. And it's super sad. Right?
Because you're seeing the dog succeed and the owner's like, oh, well.
Or they give the dog up, or you know, a lot of dogs like are in shelters because of a lack of training.
Gotcha.
So we're trying to solve that issue too with the industry.
Yeah, what is it? You have the desired dog, right? Is kind of what you're aiming for with the other one.
That's the name of our like flagship course is the desired dog. It's for every dog that's 6 months and older. Okay. Then we have the desired puppy for every dog that's younger than 6 months. And this is just basic obedience training. Sure. Right? It's nothing crazy fancy.
No, it's just like live with a nice dog.
It's like I want the dog to be consistent, reliable, no matter the distraction.
Well, a desired dog isn't going to be given up on. It's going to stay.
You walk into someone's house and their dog's like sitting there politely on their bed and looking cute. Like you want to go and say hi to that dog. Versus the dog that runs in from the backyard, jumps on you with mud, you know, bites at your clothes. You're like,
knocks over your 3-year-old.
Can you get your dog off of me? Like, and then
it's embarrassing.
And then you have a distaste for the dog. So obedience really changes the way that we interact with dogs, and it gives them a better life. It also it
gives us
scientifically
a better life too,
it has like more peace in the home. Like, so there's a lot to that of like chaos. You think of like a young family with a bunch of kids and then they get a puppy and it's like, we don't have the time to deal with this. And now the dog's not getting trained, but it's just causing more stress. And then now you're treating your family members differently because of the stress level.
Your bandwidth, and then, that makes sense.
So we pray over the dogs. I don't tell all my clients that, but like, we pray over the dogs. We pray for them to have peace. We pray that they would go and like be a good member of the family and of society, and then throughout working with the owners, like I'm getting to have an impact on their lives too, and that circles back to all the counseling stuff too.
Look at that, full circle.
So I've used that the counseling stuff so much with dog training. Is
that it is interesting how it wrapped back around. We think it's a dog business, but it's actually, once again, a people business.
People business. Same with real estate.
Same with content creation. Same with vacation rentals. You know, like all the above.
Same with the mailman that brings you a package that's smashed.
Yeah.
Like, there's a person standing there.
Right.
Like, is a person more important than your package? Like, yes.
Yeah.
For sure
I
they are.
think so.
And so perspective is really important to keep in check.
It's so easy in the midst of whatever the heat of the moment. You were talking about the chaos of like a family with a lot of kids, like very relatable for you and me and many others, that it's just like when chaos abounds, it like gets more chaotic, and then you don't have the bandwidth to be like, oh, I wonder why the package is smashed, or like, I hope he's okay, you know, or whatnot. And you're thinking about the people that you're interacting with. You tend to, when you're already stressed out, you're just reacting to everything. You're not responding to anything. And so like when we respond, I've learned that you have a way higher likelihood of treating people correctly than just reacting. I get in a reaction mode depending on how many things, how many like fires I put out in the day, or not put out in the day, and I'm feeling like I need to, like, I've done nothing today, but fight fires and they're all still active.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm like, and Emma asked me a simple question and I'm like rude to her. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's just reactive. That's what the dog's doing by jumping up and being excited that you're here. It doesn't have the bandwidth, and you're creating this peace for families and the dogs, which is part of the family.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
We have involuntary and voluntary like responses that we can give. Some things are like the involuntary is like you couldn't have helped that. And then the voluntary is like I'm choosing to do this. And the terminology of like response, reaction, and involuntary and voluntary is like, it's really a good place to kind of like meditate and think about like our life and how do we navigate that, because I like how you're differentiating the two. And I've done that with dogs too. It was like, I don't want the dog to have an involuntary reflex because of just simply habituating something over and over. But I want the dog, like, that's good. We can use that in our advantage.
Sure, to
have like
to train a certain thing,
like have this strong synapse chain in their brain that is like this habit gets fired whenever
it's like Pavlov.
I
dog.
say,
you know, like,
Fido here, like, and it triggers. And it's like the dog can also see that and then make a decision. Like, do I go down this pathway or do I go down this pathway? And that would be speaking to like the response.
Right.
And for us, like when we hold our tongue and we manage our emotions, then we tend to give what you're saying is a response. Right? We're thinking before we speak, before we act, and hopefully choosing the right way of treating the other person how they would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Versus like just snapping. So you're someone that has a lot of irons in the fire, and I do too at times. I'm like trying to really discipline myself, like pull them out. But something I admire about you is you hold a sense of peace in the midst of the chaos. And that is like a really good picture of like what we should strive to be. And you think about in the middle of a storm, like walking on water.
Right.
Like it's just like symbol of peace in the midst of chaos that's going on. And just calmly like walking above the storm. And so, it's something that I admire about you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Once again, just like you, I'm going to give just credit to the Lord. He is the Prince of Peace. So,
yeah, that's true.
So I think that's where anything good comes from out of me. So it's just like from him and just drawing close to him. And I think, we're very similar. I think that's like well, Alex Hormozy talks about the woman in the red dress syndrome as entrepreneurs, like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. And that's our natural instinct as business starters.
It's something that distracts you.
Yeah.
And there's something intriguing. I guess men would relate to that, say more than women, but there's an ice cream cone or whatever. It's like,
that's a great idea. Let's go do that. We should be doing that. And I would say for me, just being grounded in a broader vision is like practically how it helps me. Like all my businesses, which I currently have 3.5 right now, they're 4, but I'm trying to, there's a broader purpose for everything I'm doing. And that helps, that like anchors me to be like, this is crazy right now. This is completely nutso, I'm in the middle of 18 projects, both like in my businesses and with, my personal house or whatnot. And I get home and I get to go see my family, and I'm just grounded in that. Like that's the moment thing, keeping me in the moment. But what keeps me on the trajectory is like, hey, like the goal is like this all will come together. And like it's a long range. Like I'm talking like 10-year goal.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that's quite a goal versus, that's probably a goal, right? Like, because there's a difference between like, I guess, long and short term goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like because of my long suffering ability to like, hey, this is what I really, really want in the future.
Yeah.
And I believe that all this can work together. But like you, I have to make sure that I'm pruning things constantly. People used to hire me all the time to do construction work, and I had to just say, hey, like I
don't do that.
I don't do that anymore. Yeah, exactly. Because construction is one of my many passions. Yeah. I love building.
It's faster cash.
Yeah. It's easy.
I told you to do it.
Yeah, you're like, go paint a house. And I'm like, oh, I could go make money right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to work on, like actually cultivating some leads with real estate. That is like part of the bigger.
It'll pay off 2 years from now.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll list a multi-million-dollar house at 18-month listing, like it's just like but yeah. So it's just having that mindset, and that, like you said, I used to be a little bit of an evangelist for entrepreneurs, where I'd be like, yeah, everyone should be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And
I was right there with you.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the case. I've learned that is totally not true. I think
we loved it so much.
Yes.
That we were like telling other people.
You have to. And then
you should start a business. Everyone should have a business.
I think everyone should read a book about starting a business. I don't know if that's for everybody. Because I used to even like talk to my brothers about it and stuff, and half my brothers are, half my brothers aren't. And there's just like, there's so much growth that happens. That's my favorite part about it. This entrepreneurial journey, and that's not to take away from people that are incredible, like employees. My dad, been an incredible corporate man for almost 45 years, and one of the hardest working, most amazing businessmen that I've ever met, gave me the opportunity to do what I'm doing today. So there's like, I have so much respect for people that choose that life as well. For me, so like I kind of see a little bit of both sides, and I get really passionate about like your business or Chris's business or someone else's business that I want to encourage them on it. But I've learned from mistakes of being too much like, you should do that. Like we don't know what you should do. We don't know even what we should do, let alone to say you should try XYZ. But we get so like hyped up about it, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about myself, like, why do I enjoy it so much? And I think you hit something on that resonates with me, is just the challenge. It's a little bit of like, okay, how cool would it be? I have this goal and and I'm really competitive, college baseball player, and wanted to play professional baseball. So I have this like athletic, competitive killer instinct in me that it drives me a lot more than I think I would like really admit. Emma and I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just grind.
For sure. I mean, you had so many years dedicated to baseball that it's like that's part of
it's just
how you operate.
It's my DNA. and like everyone is so different, and I have to remind myself like that is the most important part, is the people. And going and like making people projects not only is it's immature, that I had some immaturity of like, oh, you should do XYZ, you know, as guys we like fixing things.
Yeah.
Well, people aren't projects to fix.
Yeah.
They're people to love. You know, and that it's just been this whole growth thing for me, and that's something that obviously you and I have grown in and agree on a lot of things, but we can get, I'm rambling, but just basically saying that it's like, it's been such a good journey, and I feel like I always say this, I feel like on my entrepreneurial journey, I'm in kindergarten working towards my doctorate. And I've been doing this for 6-7 years. I mean, potentially, actually, 7 years.
There's so many different types of entrepreneurs, though.
Yep.
You know, and that's why that name, the title is like, you can't like clearly define it. Like if someone says to me like, what is an entrepreneur? I'd say it's someone that solves problems that helps other people.
Right. And you can
that's what I think it should be.
That's probably a pure definition.
Yeah, you find a problem that you know how to fix, and then you fix it.
Yeah, I mean, well, going back to my dad a little bit, he's like, the reason he's had so much success, and he's like corporate big company stuff, is he's like, I actually just think of my team as my own little company, and I run it like my company.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like how he creates a great culture amongst his team. But he's in this giant organization. So like that is an entrepreneurial spirit with your definition.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could have a W-2 and still have a lot of aspects of entrepreneurship involved, and the creative aspect of it, the hustle, you know, the hardship, the development of whatever it is, like, you know, you're producing, you know, striving to be better. The difference is that like your life stability might not be hanging in the balance.
Yeah, that helps when I
like if you get a consistent paycheck,
that's nice,
over and over. Like I've had that before, and like it's definitely nice to know like that's coming in.
I show up to work, I get paid.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good deal.
But you could get fired, and then what do you do? Like you go get another job,
right?
And as an entrepreneur, it's like if the business fails, well, then what do? You start another business, and like that's way harder than going to get another job. And so like it's super hard.
Yeah.
And so for me, I didn't go from having a job and then creating a business on the side, and then switching them out. My wife did that with me. Like she created some stability for us financially, and then I did create the business that offset, and then we replaced the two. And I think that's
like your team or something.
Super important. Yeah. So yeah, don't just go quit your job, but like start something on the side, and then when it gets to a point where you can replace the two, then make the switch. And I think there's a lot of wisdom to be had there. Of just don't just like, okay, I'm burning the ships, we're going.
Right.
Like, because I tried a lot of stuff before this business, and it did not work. Like, it just, and if I would have like put all my eggs in that one of those baskets,
it could have been dangerous.
Yeah. Especially if you have a mortgage to pay, or kids, or things like that. It's like you got to be wise about it and everything.
We've covered obviously quite a lot about your story, life, growing up here, how that applied to your business that you have now with Gung Ho Dogs. In that life journey, what do you think was like, what was the hardest hurdle to get through in that journey? And it might be helpful now that you've kind of like talked about it over the past hour plus.
Yeah. Specifically with my business, like, or just, I mean, all
Yeah,
of life.
sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all of life might be too big, but let's talk about maybe that entrepreneurial journey of like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that we're on.
So I would say, like, it is hard. So there's a hardship that comes with it. Also, there's loneliness that comes with entrepreneurship. And there's not a ton of people that, at least at the beginning, that I knew of. So like, most of my friends and family, they did not have a business. So if you're someone that like, you know a lot of entrepreneur friends or family members, like that is a great community to like go and try to start something. Sometimes they might have too many opinions on stuff, but in general, that was pretty hard. Even today, it's like, I know a lot of dog trainers now that I can reach out to, but for the first 5 years, like I didn't have another dog trainer that, I maybe had like a couple, but I didn't have people that I was seeing every week that were part of my community that could relate to what I was doing, specifically with dog training.
So you'd say loneliness was something that was almost a hidden, like you didn't realize it would be that way.
Yeah. I'm very, very introverted, so
Taking a big step being on this podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've grown a lot though. In that. I used to like do public speaking every week as a way to like help improve like my fear of speaking. And doing like the YouTube videos, like filming myself and talking, and I still struggle with saying when I'm in like a state of mind where I'm trying to
I think that's like every person
out
ever.
words. Yeah. So I still have a lot of room to improve, but yeah, there it goes. Anyways, the loneliness and the hardship of it, I think, is one of the biggest challenges. There's a verse that says, give me just 1 second. So this is from Matthew 7. And so there's 2 verses here. So it says, so whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. And then it says, so this speaks to kind of like what I was saying before, of like treat somebody else how they would want to be treated. This is like known as a golden rule.
Yeah, the golden rule.
Yeah. So when we're doing business, this is how I'm trying to go about it. How would I want to be treated as the customer?
Right.
And then this says, enter by the narrow gate. For the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life. And those who find it are few. So this is Jesus, Yeshua, talking about like eternal life. And however, he's talking about life and death, and he's talking about a path that is hard,
right,
and a path that is easy. And we're also in life right now.
Yep.
And we can experience an abundance of life, and we can also experience a form of death, like in the life
while
that
we're
we're
living,
in. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So,
I'm with you.
So there might be something that is hard. It's a journey that is hard that is set before you, but it's going to lead to a more abundant life.
Right.
And that has been one of the biggest challenges of not only like walking out my faith, but also being an entrepreneur, is that like the hardship
is hard, and it wears on you, and you have to get this mindset of like, I'm going to keep pushing, and like I make a mistake, or there's some form of like roadblock that I need to see as an obstacle. There's another verse in scripture that says, consider the ant. And we think about ants. I took actually like a full year and I just studied ants and how they operate and the colonies and how they work together and how do they overcome things, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, oh totally.
How they communicate with one another.
Underrated bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, ants are my favorite bug by far.
A dog guy and an ant guy.
So like, considering the ant, like that has taught me a lot about being an entrepreneur. Like working really hard and not seeing failures, not seeing like necessarily like a boundary, but like seeing it as, or a challenge or hardship, but like seeing that as an opportunity for something.
Yep.
And that's what's like pushed me through that challenge. But yeah, that definitely is it.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that.
For you, I'm curious about the same thing, because you've been on, this journey as well. Like, what has been a challenge for you when it comes to your businesses and figuring things out? And
what is the biggest challenge?
it's hard to answer in a quick way. Like, I bet if I thought about it for a couple weeks, I might think of something different.
Probably discipline. For me, like that's just me. But I think that like, because I'm really good at starting things and kind of gathering the troops a little bit and getting things launched. My hardest challenge for who I am is, well, it kind of parallels your loneliness you're talking about. I think that's something that most men or anyone that's pursuing like a goal that is so long range can feel, is loneliness. And so I think I have a little bit of that, but it's more like, I think you're a more disciplined person than me. I think you just who you are. And for me, it's like the consistency of being disciplined to show up every single day on the same project. I think that's the toughest thing for me. And that's what I love about certain people that go to a job every day. I'm like, man, I look up to you. Because for me, some days I'm like, oh, I've hit a roadblock, I'm going to squirrel and kind of get distracted on a different project that doesn't need to be addressed.
Super easy to do.
So I'd say that would be, that's what comes to mind right now.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah. Being consistent and discipline is so much more important. Was it discipline eats motivation for breakfast or something like that, right? And so it's like, that's like what I'm aspiring to be. That's, and it's obviously not even close to New Year's, but like that's like my revitalization actually this year is to be consistent with, content creation and doing the right things, doing the daily things. I think being a real estate broker, there's like a 98% failure rate. Failure means when you get the first, you get your license, 98%. We'll fact check me or whatever, but like it's something high like that. They don't re-license after the first every 2 years you have to re-get your license.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, you should fact check that. But for me, I'm like, a lot of that comes down to the fact of like, hey, like people don't do the small little things correct. And for people like us that have big dreams, sometimes we feel that those little consistencies, important factors of that are going to give you success, maybe they don't appeal to us. They're not as fun. So that's my thing, is that. What would you say?
I got this. Yeah. So good old AI here. Let's see. 75% of new real estate agents leave the industry in their first year.
On their first year, not even their first year.
87% by year 5.
Okay.
So yeah, super high.
So 5. Coming up on 3.5. No, I'll be 4 this winter.
And I think it's similar with businesses too.
Yeah, business, that might be where I'm getting at.
Most businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And in the first 2, it's really, really high.
Yeah, extremely high.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. But like you said, those are the stepping stones on the way to success, and they're part of that learning journey, and it's really important. I think that's something. What is something that we'll start with kind of roping it back to Central Washington, where we live here in Ellensburg. What is, let's say someone has never even come to Ellensburg. Maybe they've driven past on I-90, but they're thinking about Central Washington as a whole. They want to get out of the rain and the gloom. What's something that they should be prepared for moving over the mountains, other than experiencing sunshine for the first time?
Community. I think you have to have community here in order to really experience the fullness of what happens here. Mm-hmm. If you come and live over here and you're isolated, I don't think this living is designed for that. The community that we have is literally the best thing about here.
Totally, yeah. We talk about it all the time, me and Emma, of it's just the best.
It's really great, all the directions you can go. Mm-hmm. Specifically to Ellensburg, mm-hmm. You can experience different things by going each direction, and we're close to skiing in the snow and skiing on the water, and there's 4 different very distinct seasons.
Yep.
Right? So weather is another thing people should know, is you're gonna have very distinct, all 4.
Yep.
And it gets very cold, and it also gets very hot, and it does rain some, but it's mostly sunny.
Right. But it is windy if you're in Ellensburg.
It is windy, yeah. But coming back to it is the community is the best part.
Yep.
And that is something you can't just you can't buy. You can't just flip a switch and turn it on. You have to invest, mm-hmm. and it takes time. And it takes discipline, like you're saying, but it literally is the best thing that I've experienced, and why we were let's come back to Ellensburg. It's because of the community aspect.
Yeah, I'd say you come for some reason, right? For me, it was going to college. We both went to Central, and then it could be something else, a job or the beauty, the weather, whatever you're trying to get out, but you stay for the people.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what my whole goal is here with this podcast. One is, I think it's important to get out and talk and kind of have a really realistic conversation, but it's a great way to understand. It's hey, who lives here? What is Central Washington about? And you said it. It's about community. Mm-hmm. It's that small town living that we've gotten to experience, and we're able to steward as it is growing no matter what, and we can help, hopefully, it keep its character that obviously you grew up with, I've fallen in love with, and I'm my daughter, born and raised in Ellensburg, born at KVH, so she's for sure an Ellensburg first generation. But I agree. You come for something. Ellensburg tends to draw people for some reason, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of stories of where they came and they never left. Yeah, it has to do with the community and the people. I would agree with you there.
I would also say it can be hard to just get a job here. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people work remotely, or they commute, or they start their own
business.
Right.
And I think there's a ton of opportunity, specifically right now. Like I'm constantly thinking of new business ideas, and I'm like, oh, Ellensburg should have this. Or you see another business pop up, and you're like,
oh, I should have thought of that.
Yeah, like, that's literally not here. Like, that's the first one here. So there's a lot of opportunity. But if you just come over and you're like, hey, I'm just going to look for a job, like,
the industry may not be quite there to support. Like, we're just going to move there and figure it out. Like,
so that could be hard for some people. We know people that have been struggling through that, jumping from one job to another, and so it is, a moderate-sized town. Like it's not super huge, and so there's a limited amount of opportunity when it comes to just getting a job.
Yeah.
But the college is
it's a huge draw.
Big place. The agriculture industry has a lot of jobs, and there's a big facility going in right now that there's probably going to be more jobs available.
Most likely.
But so.
Yeah, Kittitas County is kind of an interesting county when you think of it.
Well, there's Upper County and Lower County.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Super different.
And then you have the college, and then you have the rural aspect.
Yeah.
Those are different, but I like it.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. It is Thanksgiving week, so Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
Yeah.
Give me some things you're thankful for.
Like right now, or the big picture?
Oh, you can give me one of each. How about one of each? Yeah.
Something I'm thankful for right now is, let's see, today we had dogs go home, and I'm going to actually go back to the property where my wife and I met. Oh, yeah.
And
we're doing Thanksgiving down there.
Nice.
So my
brother, see your brother?
Brother still works there, and we're going to go and visit, and so that will be great. I got the next 4 days off, so that's something I'm thankful for. Really good to have that time, right? I was telling you about the burnout before.
Right.
And then I changed things to have some time off, and I delegated tasks, hired an employee. So, I'm super thankful to go kind of pull back and reflect on life right now, and then just come back in. So I think this weekend is going to do that for me, and also spend some time with family. So super thankful for that. Big picture is I'm thankful for the grace that the Lord has given me for my life, and His Son dying on the cross for our sins, and raising again, and offering us eternal life. For repenting and putting our faith in Him. That's the gospel right there. That's the big picture for sure. We've talked about our faith a lot, and I think it's appropriate. It's a big
it's who we are,
part of who we are. And so, we're not going to shy away from that at all, because I'm super proud of that. I'm so thankful. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
cool. Well, I'm thankful for you coming on this, podcast. This is the first one. So
how long has it been? Have you been keeping track?
I don't even. We're at 2 hours exactly.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Cody, so where can people learn more about what you do, your business, Gung Ho Dogs, and what you're doing now?
Sure, yeah. So if you have a dog or you like dogs, and you want to be a part of, we have a free community you could join. I have some free video courses that you can have. I have one that's called the 3-Step Secret to Reliable Obedience. I also have bite-sized training tips, which is 100+ quick tip videos with just dog training wisdom that I've learned over the years, and the 1,000+ dogs that I've trained in person. I just put those into little nuggets that you can take and apply to your dog and your training immediately. I also have a free potty training course, so if you do have a puppy, you can go through that. But the community itself is something that I'm really trying to
invite people to, and to be a part of just helping the bigger picture of like, let's train our dogs really well and give them more freedom and give them the best life, and then at the same time bringing more peace into our home. So you can check that out. Joe will put a link in the description that will take you directly to that. Well, I'm excited to listen to the conversations to come.
Yep.
Because it's going to give me just a deeper look into people's lives and what's going on, and I think there's a lot that we can learn from each other, the ones that are actually here and know each other, but then people outside anywhere in the world can watch, and
that's what I'm excited about.
Get a peek into what we're doing.
I'm really excited the opportunity to create a space where people are, come in and free to be who they are. Like, you're telling me all these awesome things about your story and where you gain value in your faith, like me, but like creating that seat that you're in as an open space for anybody to feel free to just be honest and truthful and talk about like the reality of life. And specifically right now it's here in Central Washington, which is kind of fun to get to know people. But I think I'm really excited for the learning process of this whole thing. So I'm thankful for the opportunity. I mean, we live in an incredible place, and this is an incredible opportunity. And I'm obviously thankful for our friendship. So thanks for coming on. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sweet, man. Thanks so much for sticking around for this podcast with Cody. It was an absolute blast filming today and getting to know a little bit more about him and his story and the impact that the community of Ellensburg has had on his life, and now what he is giving back to those in his community through his business. And it's inspiring. It inspires me every day, and I hope that it was beneficial and interesting to you as well.